I've had these real moments of deep sadness and depression, and I've had to just pick myself up and go again, just chasing, these things that I know I can achieve in this sport.
How do you walk away from doing something that you absolutely love? That is something that today's guest is currently grappling with. New Zealand mixed martial artist Nyrene Crowley says she has one fight left in her before she calls time on a fighting career spanning over 10 years. Mixed martial arts has a very unique demand for excellence, and it has been that demand for Nyrene that has come at a personal cost. Welcome to Unlocked with Rav, featuring Nyrene Crowley. Joining me today is Nyrene Crowley. Kia ora, Nyrene, and welcome to the show.
Kia ora, Rav. Kia ora. It's good to be back.
You've got a fight coming up, which was, reason number one why I wanted to talk to you. But I wanted to delve into your career once again because, as I was saying off camera, the last time we did, we've had interviews about, things coming up, etc. But journey-wise, our first conversation was 5 years ago in studio. And I think you might have been fresh back from Bali-ish, maybe?
Yes. Yeah, that's
Or
right.
you had just started at CKB?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's been a lot that's happened in between that time to now. But let's get into your fight camp first. And I just wanted to ask you about, how it's going, because you did mention some news to me off camera as well about what this fight will really, mean to you in terms of preparation and being out in the cage this time around. So talk to us about prep and how that's all been going for you.
Yeah, so 5 years, a lot has happened, like you said, and it's been awesome. Like, I've kind of gone through my little journey over the last 5 years being at CKB, and it's just been the best. Obviously, I've just been so lucky to be at that gym, and I think I said that, when I first spoke to you too. It's been incredible, and so having this fight lined up March 14th on SFL MMA fight. I'm really excited. I've been preparing out of camp as well over the Christmas New Year's season to stay ready, and we've just kind of gone into this camp really ready and prepared, and I'm so excited. And you kind of mentioned a little bit, but I haven't officially announced it, but it's this will be my last MMA fight. So or fight ever. So I'm really content. Like I was kind of talking to, like, I'm really content with the fact that this will be my last one. I think it's so funny. Every time I mention that, this is the last one, everyone the response is usually like, nah, you've still got another 5-10 years in you. And I'm like, yeah, I could, but it's just, I am so content with where things are, and my body's been through a lot over the years, and as much as I've loved the journey of the sport, it's I have to kind of future-proof my health a little bit, and I have some really exciting things that I would like to delve into. So it definitely brings a different mental approach going into a fight, knowing that it could, and basically is my last fight. So I'll get in these moments where, as with any camp, it'll suck, and I'll be kind of caught in these moments where I don't want to be there, and then I'll get this little reminder going, this is your last one, like, get up. So it's actually been a really, really interesting mental drive. Very different, because it'll switch me completely, because I'm like, man, I know I'm going to miss this. I'm going to miss every single part of preparing to fight. And this has been my life for 10 plus years. It is going to be very emotional, but I've been really, really excited. Like the approach for me is just, I'm just so excited to just get one more fight in and really showcase what I'm capable of, and make a really good show for the crowd here in New Zealand at home. So yeah, I'm excited, and I know I'm going to put on a really good show. So
Yes, you will. You always do, Nyrene. And I know the last time you were on SFL and you had that amazing submission win, it was just
Yeah.
exciting to see our wahine up in the mix. I know we have spoken about this over the years about, wanting more females in this space, performing at the highest level. You've been a great mentor and role model to those very, women that
Thank
we see
you.
coming through now.
Mm.
How do you come to that decision that, that type of competition is, not going to be, no longer part of your MMA journey? Because, I feel like some people, are really hungry for that competition, but
Mhm.
how do you kind of put a cap on that? And, how do you come to, such a huge decision considering how
Mhm.
big of a part it's played in your life?
Yeah, that's a really good question because Um, I think when I started, obviously we were in a very different era of fighting. We didn't have, the no the science and the learnings and the knowledge that we do now. And so um when you get to a point, I think a lot of the people that have basically done that competed from the same era that I kind of started, there is a bit of like an identity attached to what we do, and it becomes really difficult for people to really make that final call about when to stop because we love this so much, and it does become the thing that we've almost like the only thing that we know to a certain extent, and so it does make the decision very hard for some people. But I think for me personally, um, I've reached a point in my life and my career where there's a few determining factors. One, I've been through a lot physically. So, going through the surgeries and going through rehab, like it's just taken a lot of a mental toll on me. And also, like physically, like waking up in pain and, managing that isn't the best. But also, like, I'm also very motivated with other things now, like I've been working really hard on creating a bit of a pathway for myself with the emceeing and the commentating and the fight analysis and the post-fight interviewing, which is I'm so passionate about that now. And obviously, like it links in really well with what I studied at university too. So it's been like a really full circle moment. And so having this as like a real passion project for me moving forward, I think has really allowed me to be content with the decision that this is the last one. And um, I am really, really happy with what I've achieved in the sport. And like you said, like just being in a position where hopefully like I've inspired a lot of women through the sport and created, the pathways that I hope to create for the ones coming up through the sport now. We've got some phenomenal female talent in our country now. And um I got into the sport, inspired by a woman. And so like I only wish the best for the future of females and MMA going forward. So yeah, yeah, those are kind of like that was the decision making process. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm really content with where I'm going now.
yeah. And that's important, and that's when you know that it's the right decision, right? If you can feel content in that decision, then you know in your heart of hearts that this is the right thing to do, following that, that instinct that you would have. When you talk about this and you talk about the pain that your body's endured, I also know, the amount of hours you have to put in, the
Um,
dedication you have to put in, the sacrifice of, sometimes even having a personal life just to keep, for the passion of the sport. Are you able to
Oh
talk to
yeah.
us, a little bit about what kind of sacrifice and dedication you've had to put in? Because you don't only, you've not only participated, you've competed. You've been competing on, you know, big stages, Eternal MMA, one championship, King in the Ring. A lot of fighters don't get to see stages like that, and that requires that sacrifice.
Yeah, you're right. When I look back, because man, it's interesting being in a position where like I'm like thinking about my career as a whole, and you don't or I don't always get a chance to like think about the things that I actually kind of like achieved or got to experience through the 10 years and 10 plus years that been doing this. But the sacrifice has been massive. And there've been a lot, like, and people talk about it all the time as professional athletes. Like when you get to that elite level, you miss out on really important things throughout life. For example, like your celebrations that that you want to be with your family or your friends. Sometimes, um, you know, emotional emotional events that you want to be a part of. For example, like funerals that I couldn't attend while I was overseas, um, which were um, quite tough. Like having to miss out on those kinds of things, but also the sacrifice of, um, like you said, like socially, maybe not investing into being able to invest into creating the family that I maybe envisioned for myself at one point in time. And also the sacrifice, like I mentioned before, that my body has gone through, not only with the surgeries and stuff, but like as a woman in this sport, like the sacrifice of having to deal with something called functional hypothalamic amenorrhea, which is otherwise known as Red S. That's thrown my body's hormonal synchronicities out of sync. And that's something that I'm going to have to like focus on fixing post fighting as well. So there's a lot of sacrifice that I personally have had to go through. When you don't always think about it like that, like all you're thinking about is this achievement, this wanting to achieve and do really well in the sport. And when you get to that elite level, a lot of that, although it was tough, like, and it will has created like a possibly long-term effects of my body. You just don't think about that because you're so caught in wanting to like do well and achieve and be on these stages. And it's almost like a post thought that you're like, damn, like a lot of my friends have, had their families and had kids. And yeah, I just don't I haven't had a chance to sit back and do that. But yeah,
There's still
that
time, girl.
there's still time. There's still time. Yeah.
This leads me to my next question. What is it about the sport that has made you as a person go, that's a sacrifice I'm willing to take?
Yeah. Man, ever
Deep,
since
eh?
I started the sport, yeah, that's a big one. Ever since I started the sport, there was something about it that like it just connected with just something that I knew I would be good at. Something that just ignited this like passion. And like the thing about fighting, and I've spoken about this before, is it's a sport unlike basically any other sport that you will ever experience in your lifetime. You go through these moments of complete highs, absolute lows, physical, emotional, spiritual, just exhaustion. But there's something inside, and a lot of fighters will be able to understand this as well, and anyone really that competes in things that expect that much out of a human person. But there's this how do I explain this? There's like this hunger to like want to experience everything that this life can give you. And I feel like with fighting, you can experience the absolute highs that this life can give you. And also with the highs, you have to expect the lows as well. I guess it's like the journey of navigating all of it. And it just grows you into this human being that is able to handle so much in this life when you can get through those moments, when you can get through the highs and then bring yourself back down to earth in order to, go again, but also like navigate those real low moments and from there pick yourself up and go again. And so it's like in life, a lot of the time, like you can move through these moments where it's quite mundane and, you go through things that you will never get the feeling that that fighting gives you. And to be able to like just operate and, and thrive in a sport like MMA, like I feel like it just creates such a full and complete human that's able to like really navigate life and take a lot of those
Mm.
learnings and translate it into things that life will give you, like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think that my love for this sport has just been, it's what's kept me in the sport for 10 years, like I've had these real moments of deep sadness and depression, and I've had to just pick myself up and go again, just chasing,
Yeah.
these things that I know I can achieve in this sport. Um, and the people in the sport are some of the best people that you will ever meet in this life. They
Mm.
have carried me through the girls at the gym, the guys at the gym that I train alongside my entire team. Like, they've just been phenomenal, and like, we really know how to support each other through these moments. And I think it's what keeps the obsession going. And I really will. I'm going to miss it. I really know I'm going to miss it. But yeah, that's kind of what's kept me in the sport this long.
How does it feel to finally have control over what you're going? What I mean by that is I feel like sometimes when you're fighting and you're waiting for that next fight, you're waiting for an opponent. There's a lot of waiting on other people, waiting
Yeah.
for the right training partners. You finally are surrounded by these amazing female fighters that are coming through city kickboxing at the moment, which has given you more opportunity
Yeah.
to learn about actually training and sparring and all those things with
Yeah.
females in your gym. And now you're
Yeah.
in a position where broadcasting's the next step for you. You're
Yeah.
gonna, put competition to the side. You're thinking about, the human side to Nyrene Crowley. How does that feel to have, you know, that mature control of your life now? I feel like you feel it almost feels like you're invigorated in a different way.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like, man, like I said, like, the sport's grown me completely, and like, it does give you a lot of oversight into like a lot of things, decision making, being able to kind of like really direct where I want my life to kind of go now. But yeah, I guess, like, I mean, that's such a big question, but I feel like I've matured through the sport and being able to like have all of the learnings that I've had, and also this really, this, like I said, like this passion project to kind of like gear myself towards. Like, it has allowed me to feel so in control of the decisions that I'm making. And I feel really good. Like I said, like, I feel so content. Like, it's not like I've been pushed out of the sport, but due to, I mean, it tried to push me out of the sport with 3 knee injuries and a bicep rupture, but I
Nice
rehab
try, guys.
myself back, yeah, yeah, yeah. But being able to like have that control and being able to decide on my own terms, like, I think, yeah, it's been great. And so I'm stoked. I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that's, really been exciting when we're thinking about, life after competition is this broadcast, career that you've kind of created for yourself. And of course,
Yeah.
you would be successful at it. You've always had the gift of the gab. So when I go to events and I see you, in the ring, whether it's ring announcing or I'm listening to you on King in the Ring, doing your commentary, listening to backstage interviews, how have you found this new path? Because obviously you know the sport, you know the people, but I think I remember from that interview that we had 5 years ago, you actually spoke about when you were on stage of things like having stage fright and all these sorts of
Yeah.
things. So
Yeah.
how have
Yeah.
you found, this new comfortable of talking about the thing you love with the people you love in front of all
Yeah.
these strangers?
Oh man, it's been an interesting growth over the last like 2 and a little bit years of like doing it. And yeah, it's been great. Like you said, like, I feel like I can come at this new direction or this new pathway with a lot to offer. Obviously, like you said, like, I feel like I can offer a lot in terms of analysis, insight, knowledge. I have a lot of really good relationships with the fighters themselves, not only at our gym, but a lot of, all across the country. I've trained at gyms all across the country. I've been able to kind of like create this really good, um, just relationship with the fighters. And I feel like they can, respect me in the same respect, because they know that I've traveled the same, journey that they are at, which, I think adds a lot. But yeah, I remember definitely like when I was speaking with you, like one of the biggest things that, I mean, because I used to sing on stage. A lot of people don't know this, but I used to
I
perform
remember
and
the old clips, actually. I remember the old singing clips that you used to
yeah,
post.
yeah,
Love.
yeah. Every part of me is a vision of a portrait of Mona Lisa. Every part of me is beautiful, and I finally see a work of art, a masterpiece. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But I used to get so much stage fright. It used to debilitate me. And I feel like this has been so different for me because over the course of the last 2 years of practicing and making mistakes on stage and being nervous and learning on the job, I feel like now I'm in a position where I feel so much more comfortable. I feel like I've had a lot of chances, many chances through the different fight shows I've been involved with over the last 2 years to really just like throw myself in, make mistakes, learn from the mistakes, grow in confidence, learn what works, learn what doesn't work. And I feel like I'm now only really in a position where I feel so confident now. So it's been great. And I think, yeah, like you said, like I can offer a lot. One, like being a woman in this space, with all the knowledge that I have over the last, 10 years. Yeah, it's been really good and a really
Look,
nice
let's
transition for me
touch
too.
on that female space, Sis, because when we're seeing you at these fight nights, I have never seen you like in hard out makeup, hair
Yeah,
done, dressed to the nines. So how has that been for you to regularly get
yeah,
nice and dolled
yeah.
up and really tap into that feminine side?
Yeah, you're so right. Like, and I get a lot of feedback about it too, where people are like, "Oh my gosh, like you like we always look so different, right?" Like, and all the girls at the gym are the same. Like when we get dressed up and go to fight nights, we're like, a lot of people are like, "Whoa!" Like, but it's been really nice. It's been so nice for me to kind of like embrace that side because obviously being involved with fight sports, there wasn't a lot of uh opportunities for us to like really embrace the strength and what it means to be a woman in the sport. And so I think that there's a little bit of a tide change now where like women in the sport are really using that as a strength, which I think has been so great. For me, being able to like really embrace like the physical femininity of getting dressed up and done up. It's been really nice, and I really enjoy it now. So, very different. Took a lot to get confident in wearing the outfits and the makeup and stuff. But I embrace it now. I really love it.
It's amazing. That's amazing. No, you're doing an amazing job with it, and it's just you to a T, and I'm really happy that, our local MMA community have really bought into that too, and you've kind of become the resident ring announcer. We know we always see men doing this job. I would argue of the amount of female commentators we've had on A King in the Ring, So congratulations, and can't wait to see you, just build and build and build
Thank
in this
you.
space. But obviously, before you do this performance, SFL at the Manuka Doctor Arena, I believe is the new
Yeah.
name of the stadium. We were
Yes.
talking
Yeah.
about this. So what happens, because we all know this is where they have the ASB tennis, well, the
Yeah.
old ASB tennis competition,
Mm.
and it's got no roof on it.
Yeah.
And I think the only open air competition going around at the moment is in the back of Dan Hooker's. I mean, it's in his backyard. Is the only it's the only outdoor kind of
Mm.
tournaments we're seeing at the moment. So
Um,
obviously, you don't know if there's a contingency plan or if you're
I
possibly
mean, your
fighting in a
guess is
hailstorm.
your guess is as good as mine. But honestly, like when they told us that it was going to be an outdoor cage, an outdoor venue, I was like, I mean, cool, that's awesome. And these guys, I mean, they're ambitious, and I think that's what sets them apart from the normal MMA events because they come at it. And they've always come at it from an events background. So they know how to put on a show. They know how to create an event type entertainment uh, show for the audiences. And so I'm really excited to see how they do it. I was kind of also saying, like, a lot of people, when we first tell them that it's an outdoor venue, they're like, oh, what if it rains? And I'm like, I mean, I'm more worried if they set up the cage and it's going to be so hot, the sun's
Fun.
going to be beating down on the canvas. So I'm absolutely sure that they'll have contingency plans in place. These guys are really onto it. They always have been. And they've been really great in looking after all of us and making sure that we all get really top tier opponents from all around the world, which is it's a blessing, because man, the era that we all came up in, it was not like that. And we were, especially as a woman, like the only reason that I would be able to keep getting good opponents is if I left the country. And so we're at a really beautiful place in New Zealand and Oceania now, where promoters are really, like, they have the financial backing and the belief and the talent here to fly people from all over the world. And it's been great. Jason Vorster does it on Shuriken. And so there's some amazing promoters that'll really invest into, and Ethan Shep does it on his House of Pain shows as well. They will really invest in the fighters here, and it's awesome to see the young talent in our country now have those opportunities right here at home. So yeah, outdoor stadium, we'll see.
Let's go.
We'll see. We'll see. Let's go.
Mate, it's a big tick for oxygen, so that's fine.
Yeah,
A bit of breeze might be nice.
Yeah. The breeze might be good.
And Nyrene, thank you so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure catching up with you. I will be there to watch you in person, and I can't wait to watch you in your last walk out to the cage and enjoy every single moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be the last dance, Rab. That's what we're calling it. Last dance. Thank you so much for having
Love
me
it.
too. It's been awesome.
Thanks again for joining me, Nyrene Crowley, and thank you to you for joining me on Unlocked with Rav. It has been really fun putting this together on this new platform, this new space. It's all very new to me as well, but we're finally getting legs and running with it. Before I let you go, Whānau, I have to let you know about the local fight scene calendar, because it all kicks off in March, starting with Shuriken Fight Series at Event Finder Stadium, March the 7th. I always promote going down there, buying your tickets, supporting your local fighters and the promotion, but it is also live streamed on UFC Fight Pass, which is an amazing opportunity for our local fighters. The very next day, on March the 8th, is UFC 326, headlined by the BMF title bout fight between Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira. Obviously, both of them are fan favorites. We will get into some predictions in our next show, so stay tuned for that. All of that action, of course, on Sky Arena. So look at your local guides for prices and times. Then we move on a week later, March the 14th, South Fighters League 4, where we will see Nyrene Crowley in her final swan song, giving it her last go at Manuka Doctor Arena, which will be very interesting. Of course, that arena has no roof, so it'll be open air, which would maybe be a first of its kind in New Zealand, if I'm not mistaken. However, a week later, King in the Ring, we're back at Event Finder Stadium, March 21st, where the super cruiserweights will be laying it down, featuring fan favourite Diarmuid Armstrong, who appears to be on nearly every local card. Very busy fighter, but quality fighter at the same time. So don't miss it, Whānau. It's all kicking off in March, and you can find out all the details, all the interviews right here on Unlocked with Rav. Thank you for joining me, and see you next time.